What's up, guys? Welcome back. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Go ahead and make yourself a green beer and meet me in the kitchen. Today we're making shepherd's pie. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit that bell and enable notifications as well. All right, we're getting started with 2 pounds or 3 medium-sized russet potatoes, as you see here. Break out the peeler of your choice and get them all cleaned up. Once they're peeled, we're going to cut them into more manageable sized pieces. The only thing you want to be aware of here is that they're all about the same size so that they cook at the same rate. We're going to boil them up, so just break out your knife, chop them into equal sized pieces the best you can. Also, let me know in the comments if you guys have ever had shepherd's pie. If not, I would encourage you to try something new. This recipe is super delicious, very common for St. Patrick's Day, and you really can't go wrong with meat, veggies, and potatoes, right? There we go. We're gonna add our potatoes to a large pot with some cold water. Get in there with our hands and make sure they're nice and clean, like so. Then we're gonna bring them up to a boil. Make sure you add some salt to your water though. Boil them for about 8 to 12 minutes or until they're fork tender. While they're boiling, we're gonna go ahead and get our cream and butter mixture started. You always wanna warm this mixture. You don't wanna put cold milk into hot potatoes because it'll make them chewy. We're looking for a nice smooth mashed potatoes here. So we added a little sour cream also to this mixture. As always, guys, the specific measurements and ingredients can be found in the description box below. Now we're gonna go ahead and give our potatoes the fork test. As you can see, the fork is penetrating the potato with very little resistance. That lets you know that they're just about done. Once they're tender to your liking, we're gonna break out our potato masher and mash until our heart is content. Remember, guys, for this particular recipe, you do want a very smooth mashed potato. So we're gonna slowly add our cream and butter mixture and just fold that in until our potatoes are smoother than a holiday weekend. Looking good. Gonna add a little Parmesan cheese, about a ½ cup or so, and continue to add in that cream until our potatoes reach the consistency that we're looking for. You could also use a hand blender for this if you want. A little less work on the forearms. I wouldn't be mad at you for that. Season to taste with a little salt and pepper. You could also add in some garlic and onion powder if you like. And that is about the consistency that I'm looking for my mashed potatoes for this recipe. Say it with me, guys, looking good. Once the potatoes are seasoned to your liking, we're adding in 1 egg yolk. That's gonna help act as a binder to hold everything together because this is gonna be the topping for our casserole. It's also gonna help the potatoes get nice and beautifully brown in the oven. So once you got that where you want it, you're gonna set that aside. We're gonna use some magic and chop 1 onion and 2 carrots. Then we'll get our skillet smoking hot and add our ground meat. You wanna press down firmly so it gets some maximum surface area contact, get nice and brown. I'm using lamb and beef for this recipe. Technically, traditional shepherd's pie is only ground lamb, but hey, it's your kitchen, do whatever you want. If you use ground beef, it's technically called cottage pie. This is a good way to sneak in some lamb for those that don't like lamb. You can mix it with beef and you don't really notice the flavor that much. I actually love lamb. My wife loves lamb also, so we're using 1 pound of ground lamb and a ½ pound of ground beef. You can also substitute for ground chicken, ground turkey, whatever you want to use. We just want to brown it up nicely, break out a potato masher or a hand masher and just grind everything up until it's all broken up and cooked through. Looking good. We're going to let that fat render out. That's going to season up our vegetables here in a minute. So break out that slotted spoon and remove all of the meat. You can drain off all but 1 tablespoon of that fat, and then we're going to go in with our carrots and onions. Give that a good mix and allow those to kind of start to tenderize a bit. All that flavor from the bottom of the pan is gonna permeate through those veggies. Your house is gonna be smelling absolutely amazing. Gonna season with a little salt and pepper. Plenty more seasoning to come, guys, don't you worry. Make sure you guys tag me on social media when you make this dish. I love seeing what you guys make every week. Once the veggies are nice and tender, we're gonna add our meat back to it and fold everything together until it's one big happy family right there in that cast iron skillet. So far, so good. Once you got all that mixed together, we're gonna go ahead and add in our diced thyme and some worst word in the world sauce, about a tablespoon or so of that. The fresh herbs really bring out some flavors in this lamb. Super delicious. Go ahead and fold in all those ingredients. As always guys, the specific measurements and ingredients can be found in the description box below. Going in with 1 tablespoon of tomato paste and 1 tablespoon of garlic paste. Get in there with that rubber spatula and mix to combine all of those delicious ingredients. That tomato paste is going to add some nice flavor. It's also going to help thicken up our sauce here in a minute. There we go. Next, we're going in with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. This is going to thicken up our stew. You want to fold that in and cook that for 1 to 2 minutes to get rid of that raw flour taste. And then we're going in with about 1 cup of beef stock. You can use beef broth also, obviously. There we go. There's that beef broth. This is an excellent meal prep dish, guys. This reheats really well, so you can make this. If you're into cauliflower mash, you can use that instead of mashed potatoes and make this a nice low carb or keto recipe as well. Now we're gonna season to taste. Get in there and make sure you taste as you go and adjust the seasoning to your preference. You can hit this with a little cayenne pepper or red pepper flakes to increase the spice factor a little bit if that's your thing. As you can see, this looks more like a stew now, which is what we're going for. And then of course, we're gonna add in about a cup of frozen peas and carrots. If you don't like peas, you can always leave them out, but this is a good way to sneak in some additional vegetables into your diet. Now we're gonna get our casserole dish ready. The first layer is gonna be our meat and vegetable mixture here. Smooth that out like a rocky relationship. Preheat that oven to 400 degrees. There we go. Looking good. And then we're going down with those mashed potatoes that we made earlier. Now you'll see why it was important to make sure that they're nice and smooth. There we go. Use that rubber spatula, put that thing to work. And we're just gonna put a nice thick layer of mashed potatoes on top. That egg yolk that we added earlier is gonna help these mashed potatoes brown up beautifully. Oh man, this is gonna be good, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think if you plan to try this. Don't be scared if you've never had it before. I promise it's super delicious. Now we're gonna grate on a little Gruyere cheese. You could also use Gouda, you could use Parmesan, Pecorino Romano, whatever cheese you like. This just browns up beautifully in the oven. There we go. Don't short yourself on the cheese, guys. Now I'm gonna do what I saw Gordon Ramsay do on YouTube and just use my fork to kind of make some divots and nooks and crannies in there that'll get nice and brown in the oven. He did a much better job than me. But this is what we're looking like once it comes out of the oven, browned and beautiful. Brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Quick little flyover. Oh my goodness, that looks good. We went ahead and plated it up. We're gonna add a little fresh chopped parsley for a pop of color. Hit you with a few money shots, and then I'm gonna get a taste test. There's my fork. Here we go. Of course, I'm gonna fumble around for a minute. I got my green shirt on, so you know I mean business. That is delicious, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. That's my recipe for shepherd's pie. I'm going in for bite number 2 because this is money, guys. Don't forget to give your boy a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell to enable notifications. Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. And as always, thank you for your support.